Elvis Presley and his vehicles. Part 26. The 1957 BMW 507. This is the second and last part dealing with Elvis BMW 507. If you have missed part 1, there is a link to it in the description. The main reason for Elvis buying the BMW 507 was using it as a commuter vehicle to get back and forth to the Ray Barracks Army Base in Friedberg. Here, Elvis is showing the car to a few Army friends. The winter of 1958-59 was the snowiest one in many years in Friedberg. Here Elvis is seen leaving Ray Barracks on the day he became 24 years old, Thursday, January 8, 1959 to be precise. Until February 2, 1959, Elvis lived at the Grunewald Hotel in Bad Nauheim. These photos from January 9 show the car parked outside the hotel, still with the 1958 U.S. Forces in Germany license plates. Vera Chekova, an 18-year-old German actress Elvis had met while shooting publicity photos for the March of Dimes. In this photo from January 10, 1959, Elvis is leaving Hotel Grunewald at 3 a.m. in the BMW with Vera at his side. In these photos from late January 1959, Elvis is seen driving the 507 at Ray Barracks. He was often asked to show the car to curious Army buddies. February 2, 1959, Elvis and his family and friends left the Grunewald Hotel and rented a house on 14 Goethestrasse in Bad Nauheim. Frau Piper owned the house and charged a hefty sum, since she knew Elvis could afford it. Here are some photos from February of Elvis' 1957 BMW 507 parked in the driveway of 14 Goethestrasse, where he usually parked the car. This is Elvis with friends inside the Ray Barracks Army Base. It's shot in February 1959 and Elvis is wearing his famous jacket from 1956. Reverend Lavon Moody saw Elvis on a daily basis while in Germany, as had been the case at Fort Hood. Another Fort Hood Army friend who also went to Germany was Simon H. Vega, who later in life converted his house in Los Fresnos, Texas into a museum called Little Graceland, dedicated to the memory of Elvis Presley. He also wrote a book about their Army friendship. In early 1959, Vernon also drove the 1957 BMW 507 from time to time. Later on, Elvis bought a Mercedes for his father to use. Some of the fans did some odd things to Elvis' BMW. Here's a crazy fan standing on her head on the hood. This is the last photo of the BMW 507 with the white hardtop attached. It's never seen again this way, as long as Elvis owned it. April 1959, a fan, Anita Stawar, is sitting on the front of the hood. Here the car had got the new 1959 U.S. Forces in Germany license plates installed with the number G1620. The picture to the left is one of very few color photographs of Elvis and the BMW. It's shot from the second floor at the neighbor's house. The one to the right is shot in early morning when Elvis was on his way to the barracks. Spring 1959. When Elvis lived at Goethestrasse, it was the last time the fans were able to get really close to Elvis and his cars. Audubon Drive in Memphis had also been a good place to meet Elvis, but when he moved to Graceland, the majority of fans wasn't able to get close to him due to the walls surrounding the mansion. Elvis standing in front of the barracks car park next to his BMW convertible sometime early May. Taking pictures with fans was a regular duty for Elvis, which he enjoyed. The 507 is sitting in the background. During the summer of 1959, Elvis mainly drove the car with the top down. These photos are from June 1959. Lots of fans gathered around 14 Goethestrasse hoping to get a glimpse of Elvis. If you weren't lucky enough to meet Elvis, second best was getting a picture next to Elvis' car. July 1959, Elvis and his secretary Elizabeth Stefaniak out driving the BMW 507. August 1959. Elvis next to his BMW 507. He had just picked up one of the 3 Bravo reporters at a downtown site and took him back to his home at 14 Goethestrasse for interview. Mid-August 1959, Ingrid Tesch and 3 of her friends drove to Bad Nauheim from the town of Butzbach in the hope of meeting Elvis. Unfortunately that didn't happen, so a few photos by his car had to do. Elvis' female fans were leaving lipstick marks on the BMW each and every day, and he was tired of having to get rid of those marks. Elvis therefore decided to paint it red. These are the last known photos of the car in its original white color. With a little help from an Army friend, Elvis decided to hire Ernst Pompel to have the car painted. Elvis wanted it fire engine red. Since the Frankfurt BMW store didn't have the red paint Elvis wanted, he went to the closest Porsche distributor and got their shade of red instead, which was close enough. They left the dashboard white and the roof as well, since it was in storage. September 1959, Elvis with his secretary Elizabeth Stefaniak in the newly painted fire engine red BMW. When repainting the car, Elvis also replaced the tires with white walls. Sigrid Schutz is one of the most photographed Elvis female friends during his time in Germany. She spent 2 weeks in Bad Nauheim with her parents during the late summer. Almost every day she went to 14 Goethestrasse, where she could see and talk to Elvis. September 1959, a Swedish fan posing with the car during visiting hours, waiting for Elvis to come out and sign autographs. This photo is the last known of the BMW 507 while owned by Elvis. In October of 1959 Elvis returned the 1957 BMW 507 to the dealer in Frankfurt. The dealer immediately put it up for sale at $5,000. The ad read, Elvis Presley's car previously owned by Elvis himself, BMW 507, fully equipped, original mileage 6,400 miles. New price $7,950, superb, once-in-a-lifetime buy, going for $5,000. Can be financed. Top speed 160 miles per hour. A Chrysler dealer in New York bought the car and had it shipped to the USA in late 1959. In early 1960, the car was sold to Tommy Charles, a singer, radio DJ and hot rod hobbyist. Charles took the automobile to his hometown of Birmingham in the state of Alabama. Tommy Charles displayed Elvis' old 1957 BMW 507 at the July 4, 1960 weekend sports car races in Decatur, Alabama. In the program it's told that Tommy will show the $12,000 Elvis Presley 140 miles per hour BMW Speedster between races. By 1962 Tommy Charles had repainted the BMW black and redone the interior in red. The Alabama license plate had by coincidence got the 3577 number, the years between which Elvis lived. He also added 2 additional lights in front and replaced the white wall tires Elvis had put on with standard black walls. In late 1962, Tommy replaced the engine with a Chevrolet V8 in preparation for action on the racetrack. The year after, he changed his mind and painted the outside red again to match the interior. The gearbox, the rear axle, and the instruments in the cockpit were replaced. In 1966 he traded the 507 in at a BMW dealer, Foreign Car Center in Birmingham, Alabama. Young Air Force pilot Lloyd Cottle bought the BMW 507 at the dealer and brought it home to Arizona. The photo is shot in 1966 outside Lloyd Cottle's house in Phoenix, Arizona. In 1968 Lloyd Cottle put the BMW up for sale at $1,500 in the classifieds. Aerospace engineer Jack Castor bought it and drove it home to Palo Alto, California where he lived at the time. He used it occasionally as a runabout for everyday use before deciding to put the car into storage for a subsequent restoration. Castor was a passionate collector of historic bicycles and over the years he also amassed an impressive collection of classic automobiles in his home in Half Moon Bay, California. Elvis' old BMW 507 was lost from the public for many years. In 2009 though, an expert found out that one of the 2 BMW 507s Mr. Castor owned was indeed Elvis' old car with the VIN 70079. The car had by the time stayed in Jack Castor's barn for 37 years. During the next 4 years, people contacted him with million-dollar offers. However, Castor turned them down and made a deal with BMW instead. He gave the Elvis 507 to BMW Classic for free, with the stipulation that they would make a full restoration of Castor's other BMW 507, the blue one, and return it free of charge. In the spring of 2014 the deal with BMW Classic was made, and the car was packed up in a container heading for Munich, Germany. As noted earlier, the car was in pretty miserable shape, but BMW had all the time, money and knowledge in the world to make the restoration possible. The BMW 507 was shipped to Germany in a container, together with the spare parts collected by Jack Castor. The first stop in Munich was the BMW Museum, where the Roadster was presented to an admiring audience in the special exhibition, Elvis BMW 507, Lost and Found. It was displayed there for a month, so that people later would be able to compare it with the finished restored car. In August of 2014 work began on restoration in the workshop of BMW Group Classic. The BMW Classic Group started the restoration and found, among other things, that the car had a total of 8 layers of different colors. The original engine, gearbox and rear axles could not be found and had to be rebuilt. A used engine was found and rebuilt with original parts, and then again the BMW 507 was equipped with an original BMW 3.2-liter engine with 150 horsepower. A lot of components had to be remanufactured from scratch because the stocks of original parts for the BMW 507 are limited even at BMW Group Classic. Some parts even had to be created by using a giant 3D printer. After about a year and a half, Elvis' old BMW 507 was fully restored to its original grace. It looks fantastic in its original feather white color, with a matching interior in black and white. When restored, BMW Classic at first used the old German license plate number, MJX800, which the car carried during the time Hans Stuck was the caretaker of the car. When fully restored, the BMW 507 was shipped to the BMW Centrum Museum in Greer, South Carolina. It sat there from November 2015 through spring of 2017. During that time period it was displayed at a few high-end U.S. auto shows. The official unveiling of Elvis' old BMW was at Monterey, California in August of 2016. In this picture Elvis' feather white 507 is shown in front of Jack Castor's Dove white 507. The 1957 BMW 507 of Elvis Presley was then displayed, for the first time in public at the 2016 Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, Sunday, August 21 at the Pebble Beach Golf Links in California during Classic Car Week. You might wonder what happened to the other car, with VIN 70089, which was to be returned to Jack Castor fully restored. Jack Castor sadly passed away before the two BMW 507s were restored, so it was per his wishes sent to his wife. Sometime later, she sold it to a close friend of her husband, Ron Gilmartin. When shown at Pebble Beach, it won the Michelin Award, Legends of the Autobahn. The next invitational auto show the BMW attended was the Concours d'Elegance at Amelia Island, Florida on March 10 to 11, 2017. After displayed at Amelia Island, the BMW 507 was sent back to Europe. Once the original U.S. Forces and Germany license plates were mounted, Elvis' BMW 507 first parking place was the BMW Classic Vault, the 16,000 square feet storage facility in Munich, Germany. It was followed by an appearance at the Berlin Motor World Classic in August 2017. In late 2017, the Rock and Roll Phoenix display was built at the BMW Welt Museum in Munich, featuring Elvis' old BMW. During 2018 and 2019 the BMW was displayed at several auto shows throughout Europe. September 2018, Goodwood Revival in West Sussex, England. October 2018, Zoot Grand Prix in Knokke Heist, Belgium. And in May 2019, Concours d'Elegance at Villa d'Este in Cerbobbio, Italy. During the pandemic in 2020 and 2021, the BMW 507 was back at the Heilige Halle, BMW Group Classic in Munich. In 2022, Elvis' old BMW was back on tour. In the summer of 2022 it was displayed at Motorworld in Munich. From there on, it went to Oslo, Norway for an appearance at the Oslo Motor Show in October of 2022. And finally, in March of 2023 it settled down at the BMW Museum in Munich. If you want to see Elvis' old BMW 507, book a flight to Munich, Germany. Other than seeing the 507, there are a bunch of other interesting vehicles to see, as well as learn about the history of Bayerische Motor and Werke, BMW. And that is it, on this subject. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe, share and like this video for more episodes about Elvis's cars.